the very heart of Marrakech, where the day bleeds into the chaos of night, there is a square that is not just a place, but a living, breathing theatre without a roof. Jemaa, el-Fna. It is an ocean of sound, a symphony of beautiful madness. The sharp, hypnotic call of the snake charmer's flute, the aggressive sizzle of sausages from 100 brightly lit food stalls, the rhythmic, metallic clash of Nawa cymbals that seems to shake the very ground beneath your feet. It is overwhelming chaos. But if you are patient, if you close your eyes for a moment and truly listen, past the wall of noise, you might just hear it. A single human voice, warm and textured like old sun-baked leather, pulling a small circle of people out of the chaos and into another, more ancient world. This is the Halqa, the storyteller's circle, and at its very center, sitting on a small worn wooden stool, sits Ba Mokhtar. He is, perhaps, the last of the great storytellers. His face is a living manuscript, a map of 1,000 tales he has told, and 1,000,000 faces he has watched. His eyes, though clouded with age, hold a mischievous, youthful glint, the eternal, unquenchable fire of the storyteller. His voice is not loud, but it is heavy with authority. It is like crackling firewood, a sound that promises warmth and comfort and wonder. He holds no book. His library is his memory, a vast and secret, unwritten archive of brave kings and cunning jinn, of wise fools and runaway princesses. His only instrument is a simple bender, a goatskin drum, which he strikes not for music, but for punctuation. It is the sudden clap of thunder in a storm, the closing of a heavy door, the very heartbeat of his story. Before he was Ba Mokhtar, the master, a title of deep affection and respect, he was just Mokhtar, a scrawny boy with restless feet and hungry ears. He didn't run and play with the other children in the winding, sun-starved alleyways. His playground was the Halqa of his own master, the legendary Ba Salem, a giant of a man with a voice like thunder and a shadow that could cover half the circle. Mokhtar would sit for hours at his feet, his mouth agape, not just hearing the stories, but seeing them, living them. He saw the slavering ghoul in the darkness of the master's billowing jellaba. He saw the princess's 1,000 jewels in the sudden, sharp glint of his eye. The first story he ever learned was not with his mouth, but with his heart and with his eyes. Ba Salem, a man of few words outside the circle, never said, "Remember these words." He once told him, "The words are just the dry bones of the story. The soul, the life, is in the silence between them. That is where the story truly lives. Listen to that." And when Ba Salem grew old, his thunderous voice fading to a fragile echo, he called for Mokhtar. He did not give him a book or a script or a single piece of advice. He simply placed the old, worn, sweat-stained bender in his hands. The trust, the amana, had been passed. Tonight, Ba Mokhtar's voice weaves a familiar tale of suspense. He leans in close to the circle, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial, delicious whisper. He speaks of the legend of Aisha Kandisha, the beautiful river spirit, a woman of impossible, heartbreaking beauty by day, but whose feet, hidden carefully beneath her fine, flowing robes, are the hooves of a camel. The children in the front row gasp, their eyes wide saucers of delighted terror. The old men at the back nod sagely, remembering hearing this very same tale when they were boys from Ba Salem himself. He suddenly lifts the bender high and strikes it with the palm of his hand. Bam! The sound is sharp and violent. It is the sound of a heavy wooden door slamming shut, trapping the handsome hero inside Aisha's riverside lair. His voice changes in an instant. Now it is the high, seductive, honeyed whisper of the spirit herself, promising him riches and palaces and eternal love. Then, just as quickly, his voice cracks and becomes the terrified, breathless prayer of the young man who has just seen her terrible secret. Ba Mokhtar is not just a narrator. He is a one-man cinema, a walking theatre troupe, but the world around his small circle has changed. His Halqa, which in his master's time was a vast, dense sea of faces, is now a small island in an ocean of distraction. At its edges, the bright, cold blue light of smartphones competes with the warm, flickering glow of his single gas lantern. The thumping, electronic beat of modern music from a nearby cafe clashes with his ancient rhythmic words. His voice, which was once a powerful river that drowned out all other sounds, is now a gentle stream, and one must lean in close to hear its quiet magic. He knows he is a memory, a living relic, a beautiful, stubborn ghost in his own time. But still, he tells his stories, night after night. He tells them not for the tourists who listen for a moment and then move on. He tells them because he must. It is the only thing he knows how to do. And he tells them for one other reason, because in the front row, sitting cross-legged on the ground every single night without fail, there is a young boy. His name is Ali. He is not looking at a phone. He is not distracted by the noise. His eyes are fixed on Ba Mokhtar, wide with pure, unadulterated wonder. He is seeing the ghoul and the princess and the magic. And sometimes, when Ba Mokhtar finishes a dramatic sentence, his old eyes will meet the boy's young eyes for a fraction of a second. It is a silent acknowledgement, a flicker of recognition across the generations. The master sees the apprentice. The circle, perhaps, will not be broken after all. Eventually, Ba Mokhtar will finish his story. The circle will break. The small crowd will dissolve back into the noise and the chaos of the square. He will pack his small stool and his old drum and walk home through the dark, sleeping alleys. His name, like his master's, may one day be forgotten by the history books, but the story of Aisha Kandisha, the tale of the brave prince, the legend of the clever vizier, they will remain. They linger in the very air of the square itself, like a perfume, waiting for the next storyteller with a fiery heart and a strong voice to call them back to life. For a story, a real story, once told, can never truly die. It just goes to sleep for a while, dreaming of the next circle,